This is the Sports Porch, Philadelphia, with your hosts, the Grand Schwalbini, Rube, and me, your technical director. Come on, Philly, show us a little Eagles, Flyers, Phillies, and Sixers love. The Philadelphia Sports Porch starts now.
That's right. You heard it. The Philadelphia Sports Porch starts now. And no, I am not your technical director. I'm filling in for TD today. I'm the HJ over here on the west side of the state, but still enjoying Philadelphia sports nonetheless. With us tonight, we got the Grand Schwalbini, as always, directly from parts unknown. And we got the Rube. He's back. And he's not in Michigan. He's not in Taiwan. He's back in his hometown down there in Austin, Texas. You guys ready to go?
We are.
We are. That's right.
And first of all, thank you for filling in. It's going to be so nice just to have just an absolute upgrade this week.
Well, you're welcome. And it must be serendipitous because today I happen to put on my Drexel University shirt. So
look at you.
It was meant to be. I mean, I didn't even put it on for the show. It just happened to be on today.
Got a couple Drexel alumni in the house right now.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to have a good show despite that.
What do you mean despite that?
Come on.
Hey, we were at Drexel when Malik Rose was at Drexel.
Exactly.
I take everything back.
One of the greatest all-time Drexel Dragons.
I did. Right. I love Malik. Malik played in San Antonio for a number of years down there and won a lot of championships.
Got a couple rings. Rings, you know.
All right. Let's never talk about Drexel again.
All right. Let's get off the Drexel wagon and let's start talking some of those Eagles. Well, everybody knows what happened today. Today was big old cut down day across the United States of America, but we're only interested in what happened with the Philadelphia Eagles. Schwalby, why don't you take us away and let us know what is going on with the Eagles?
I will, but first, before we go in that direction, I do have to say that Cut Down Day was hijacked today.
What?
By one Travis Kelce and the lovable Taylor Swift. Mm-hmm. I am happy for them that they are engaged. I am glad to see that this is a real love story. But at the same time, I would say if I'm a Chiefs fan, I'm not too happy. I mean, I'm hearing all these stories about how he's recommitting himself to the game. I don't think so. He's, setting himself up in like some Garden of Eden to propose to Taylor Swift on Cut Down Day. He's not exactly putting his arm around, the tight end 4 who got cut today. So, I think it's just bad news for the Chiefs.
But you know who it is good news for?
Taylor Swift?
The NFL. Because now it doesn't have to.
The Swifties stay forever.
It doesn't have to be a sideshow. She's going to be there and she's supposed to be there now. So it's like, you can't really say, well, what is she doing there? Well, she's engaged to a guy that plays for the NFL now. Oh, and also don't be surprised to hear another announcement regarding her and maybe some Super Bowl halftime show, maybe, just maybe.
And will there possibly be a live broadcast of the Jason Kelce Best Man speech?
Oh, well, definitely live in Philadelphia. What do you think about that, Rube?
Wow. Just leave it to Schwalby to kind of think outside the box. But I think that will be exceptional. And you kind of wonder if he'll wear the Mummers outfit. Maybe not.
Who knows?
One thing is for sure, he will absolutely end it with chugging a beer. Guaranteed.
Yes, he will. Yeah,
guaranteed.
And I'm going to say 60-40 the shirt comes off.
What should we call the over under? I wonder if there's prop bets for how long the speech will be. I think the over under is what? 12 minutes? Or is
it's funny you said. I was just thinking, like, what would I put it at? And I was like, maybe 12 minutes.
Okay, there you go.
Seems too long for me. I would bet the under on that one.
You're going under.
Well, it doesn't count. It doesn't count like when he starts chugging the beer or when he rips off the shirt. It's when the words end.
Right.
Oh, well, I'm going with an over.
My, oh my. I can't believe we already got that sidetracked, but a great sidetrack nonetheless. The whole world is rejoicing over that. And hey, I have to admit, I'm a Swiftie, been to a few Taylor Swift concerts myself, some with my daughter, some by myself. So that's just the way it goes in this world.
You went to a Taylor Swift concert by yourself?
Well, I mean, if you didn't go to the Eras concert, I don't know what planet you were on, because everybody in the whole wide world went to the Eras concert. Let's face it.
I know, but you went as a middle-aged man to a Taylor Swift concert by yourself.
Oh no, I went with my
his wife.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's not by yourself.
Well, I mean, I didn't go with my teenage daughter. Okay.
Right.
Which is acceptable if you went to like Red or the other one. Forget the other one. Anyway, go on.
Big fan you are. Got it.
I will say this though. This weekend, me and TD and Steve and another buddy of ours, Chuck, from college, we had a kind of like a reunion weekend, and we went to Put-in-Bay, Ohio. I know it's a very strange name for a place.
Very strange.
It's basically an island, and it's kind of like a party island. You take a ferry over there, which is pretty cool. And we did hear some actually like really good live bands at night. And there was a cover band, and I mean, they're playing all kinds of like, big time covers, right? But they poured in some Taylor Swift covers, and I will tell you what, the entire place was singing word for word, and Steve Flitch fit right in like a glove.
Right in.
Boy.
I knew him all.
Boy.
Well, when you got the easy songs, it's a no-brainer.
I'm pretty sure I don't know the words to any Taylor Swift songs, and I feel good about that, so to speak. It's just not it's not our generation. Maybe unless you had a young daughter who was into it, or a niece perhaps. My daughter never really got into the Swiftie phase. No. So good for her. She's Reading, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia girl. So
she more rock and roll or what?
She is more like indie, EDM. Yeah. So her generation, they go.
She likes the Lumineers.
I don't think she's a Lumineer. She's a Tosh. She loves Tosh Sultana like her dad. She got me into Tosh. Mm-hmm. But she listens to like EDM and like DJ, where they come and do like DJ up there.
I do like the DJ music. I enjoy that.
I could see you dancing to that. So
yeah,
that's her. Anyway,
right.
Should we talk some Eagles?
Yeah, let's give the people what they want.
Okay.
53-man initial roster rolled out today. Any surprising cuts? Here's what we got. We got Hurts, McKee, and Sam Howell. I think we knew when they traded for Sam Howell, and they did that because McKee has like a fractured finger, so he's technically going to be out for 4 weeks, I think.
Is it a finger or a thumb? I don't know. I don't know what the truth is there, but I hope it's not the thumb.
I can't remember, to be honest.
Okay, but, we'll do some research.
But Howell's in there to be QB2 for a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with that happening, you kind of knew that Kyle McCord wasn't going to make it. I would expect that they'll bring him back on the practice squad. But I don't know. I mean, the fact that they didn't, obviously they brought in Sam Howell because they thought that Kyle McCord was not ready to back up Hurts if the situation called for it. So I don't know how much they really like him or not. He kind of was up and down in the preseason.
Yeah, I don't think any surprise there. I think I remember saying during draft day, you said, "Hey, what about Kyle McCord?" And I gave a big, the HJ, And I think that's kind of what you get. You can't make it work at Ohio State, and you got to go to Syracuse. Come on, unless your name is Donovan McNabb. No, thank you.
And even at that, looking back, I almost say no thank you to Donovan McNabb.
No. We'll have to come back. We have to unwrap that one later.
Yeah. I think obviously the running backs was everybody knew it. Saquon Barkley, Will Shipley, as your change of pace. Dillon for maybe a little thunder. AJ Dillon, and then you got Van Sumeren playing fullback. So remember he was doing that all year last year until he went out with injury, and was doing a really good job at it.
Hey,
Your
by the
wide
way,
receivers.
real,
Go
real
ahead.
quick, McKee fractured his thumb.
Oh, did he? Okay.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yes.
Okay. So wide receivers, you got AJ, you got Devontae, you got Dotson. That was pretty clear. You knew when they traded for Mechie, he was going to be on the team. And then you had, I guess, really the surprise of the Eagles camp, undrafted out of Tarleton State.
In Texas, in the heart of Texas.
Darius Cooper makes the squad. And apparently, according to people that watched a lot of Eagles practice this off season, it's not really a surprise. I mean, he's been a really good player. And I think they just thought if we put him through waivers, somebody's going to pick him up. So they protect him by keeping him on the squad. Any thoughts on the wide receivers?
No surprises there. Johnny Wilson unfortunately got hurt, and he was playing okay in the preseason, so he'll be on the pup list or whatever that is, or actually whatever list he's going to be on. But I like it, and I listened a little bit to Howie and Sirianni's press conference today, and they asked a lot about this Cooper, and essentially the word on him is really physical. No, he'll do a lot of the dirty work, kind of like the Zach Pascal type of blocking. He's super strong, and he wins one-on-one and is really, really physical. So when I saw him too, he looks like an AJ Brown type of player. So could be the find of the decade for us. We'll see.
I would say I wouldn't bank on that. But find of the decade.
Well, it's only a decade. I didn't say the century. Or the multiple decades.
Right. So we got the tight end room. We got Goddard, Calcaterra. We knew they decided to keep Granson, who they brought in as a free agent. I guess I'm a little surprised that EJ Jenkins didn't make the team. I thought maybe since he's been on the squad and the practice squad for the past 2 years that maybe he would get the third tight end spot. But I mean, I don't see anything phenomenal about him. So, I'm okay with Granson being in there. What are your thoughts on the tight ends?
Yeah, I don't know much about Granson and the other two guys. Goddard will go down for at least 3 games this season, and Calcaterra exonerated himself very nicely last year. I thought he played well. He's not the blocker that Goddard is. And hopefully Granson never sees the field. So we'll have to hope for the best.
Okay, on the O line, you got Jordan Mailata, you got Landon Dickerson. They're saying he's going to be ready for week 1. We'll see. You got Cam Jurgens, Tyler Steen, and Lane Johnson. Those are your starters. I actually really like the move of making a trade and bringing back Fred Johnson, who was our swing tackle last year, who played some games for Mailata when he was out. I thought he was really solid. So I think it's good having like a solid swing tackle backup that you can count on.
They don't grow on trees. I heard some sort of stat, like it wasn't good. Like he gave up a certain number of pressures. But the backup to that is, hey, there's only so many good offensive linemen in the league. This guy knows the Stoutland way. He's a champion. I think it was a good move, actually. I agree with it.
I mean, and here's the thing with him. Now, he's not a starting, he's probably not a starting caliber tackle in the NFL. But what he is he's a guy who on short notice can give you some good games. So even though, I saw that same stat too. It was like something like he might have given up 6 or 7 sacks last year or something like that.
Yeah.
But he also did shut out Trey Hendrickson when we played the Bengals. So, you look at that and you're like, okay, this guy can he's not afraid to mix it up with anybody. You got Pryor as a backup. Kendall is a guy that they drafted as like a backup center. Trevor Keegan was on the team last year, a Michigan guard backup. He's trained at both guard positions. And then you got Toth, who has been on the team as a backup as well. And then Williams, I believe that's Cam Williams. He was
Texas.
Like maybe our 6th round pick or 7th round pick.
Yeah.
So they were excited by him, so he made the team. So let's go to the defensive line.
Hey, Schwab, just one question before you move on.
Yeah.
11 offensive linemen. Doesn't that sound like a lot to you?
Well, I don't know.
I'm going to jump in on that one.
Yeah.
Listen, the Eagles have built from the line of scrimmage for the past
true.
25 years, and with some of these guys, even Juergens with the back, Dickerson with the knees and the ankles, you're going to need them. 1. 2 is they all play kind of different roles, right? You need your swing tackle, you need your swing guard, you need someone that's going to play center. So I'm fine with loading up at the line of scrimmage. So I think, again, that'll be the strength of our team, as will be our defensive line.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I guess when you have 11 offensive linemen, if somebody goes down, you can never replace the starter with somebody equal. But if you have somebody adequate, and even if they go down and you can spell them, then I guess I can see the thought process there. All right.
And plus they can move guys to like the I don't know, the practice squad or whatever,
or just inactive on
or
game
inactive.
Day.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think of too? I know we're not all the way through, is special teams, right? We'll talk about that probably later when we talk about our cornerbacks. But when I look at the roster altogether, I'm like, who the heck is going to play special teams? Like, do any of the starters, like I would imagine Shipley, Van Sumeren, obviously Keely Ringo.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, some of these players who are really good are going to have to play special teams. You just never really realize who plays that during the year.
Well, and they do, and sometimes you just don't realize it. You know what I mean? Like when you look at the snap counts, like you'll look at them and you'll be like, "What? Jordan Mailata played like 6 special team snaps." You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So that will happen, but every year special teams is a little different. You usually have like an ace or 2 on your special teams, but it's often made up of the new guys on the team, like, your draft picks that you picked up, and you just got to kind of hope that they're good at it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's continue.
All right. So why don't we have you read off on the defense? So you got the defensive line there.
Yeah. So listen, we hear defensive line again is going to be a strength. Anything Jalen Carter, they say Jordan Davis looks as good as he ever has. Robinson, the what do they call him? The Vanilla Gorilla.
The Vanilla Gorilla.
The Vanilla Gorilla.
Nice.
I'm excited to see him. Byron Young, I think, has been around a little bit. This Gabe Hall, he always seems to play well when given the chance. I don't know. Ajomo, did we draft him last year? Is he in his second year, Ajomo?
I don't know if it's his second year or his third year.
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
So listen, that'll be the strength. Where things are a little less certain is at the edge, right? So with Smith, Jalix Hunt, we picked up Uche and Ojulari. I think that was one of the more concerning positions coming out of preseason from everything that you hear and listen to. So we'll have to see. We took a couple bets on some 1-year deals there. We're going to have to replace Sweat and BG and that production. So we'll have to see what happens there, but no surprises on who was kept on the team and made the team. Linebackers, same thing. Vaughn, Jihad, Trotter, and Mondin all look like they can play, and it's for the first time in a decade. Again, I'm going back to I must have a decade on the mind. We have a pretty solid core of linebackers, and then you got Nakobe Dean coming back, hopefully sometime during the season.
They say he's he's on the PUP, which means he's out for 4 weeks, but he said today that he expects to play in week 5.
Yeah. So that's going to be a real strength. And cornerback, the defensive backfield was very interesting. The big question, obviously, is who's going to start on the other side from Quinyon Mitchell. Feels like it's going to be Adoree Jackson. McWilliams, he's the rookie. They got Bennett from Vegas, so I think by trading and getting him, he was going to make it. And Ringo was the one a lot of people were kind of surprised that, given how much he struggled in the preseason, would they bring him back? And I think we all know probably one of the biggest reasons they brought him back is because he's a stud on special teams. So,
yes, that's true.
So we'll see how that plays out.
One thing I would say about the corners, though, is that I think that I mean, I don't know exactly how they feel, but I think they probably, if they look back now, they probably say we should have given one more year to Darius Slay at $10 million. You know, I mean, because they wanted Ringo to take over that spot and to grab a hold of that spot. And he just didn't. He just didn't play well in the preseason. Now, granted, I mean, look, he was going up against Jamar Chase, and Jamar Chase destroys everybody, but he destroyed him especially bad. And it was like, the kind of stuff where it's like, okay, it's okay to give up the 20-yard out, but you need to make the tackle there and not let him go 50 for the touchdown. That kind of a thing. So I don't know. I think this is the one position that could potentially be changed before the start of the season. If Howie's got like one more trade in him, it might be a trade for a starting corner. I could be wrong. I mean, there just might not be anything at this point. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what you go out and get. And yeah. Listen, we'll see. Maybe Cooper DeJean goes to the outside, and they play somebody else in the slot. Although, gosh, he played so well at that last year.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, you don't want to weaken two positions.
No, exactly.
No, you don't want to do that. You want to leave that guy right where he belongs. Don't put him in a position that he fails in just because that position's not quite as good as you want it to be.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily know if he fails. I think he was a cornerback coming in. So if he has to play cornerback,
you're right.
He might play great, but the thing is, interestingly enough, I think in some way the nickel corner is actually almost more important than the cornerback 2 at this point, because if you really think about it, like, obviously your cornerback 1 is going to cover your top receiver, assuming that they follow them on the field, which they say Quentin's going to do this year. Okay. Right. And then, your quarterback 2 plays, the second receiver, and about half the teams in the league have a really good second receiver and half don't. Right. But often what they do is they'll get creative and like they'll run Jamar Chase into the slot at the last second, or sometimes the slot guy takes care of the tight end, like a Jason, like a Travis Kelce, right? Or one of the better tight ends in the league. So
Brock Bowers. Yeah.
So like DeJean is actually taken care of some really good players, probably more good players than the cornerback 2 has to cover.
Well, we'll see pretty quickly what CB2 looks like, because they're not going to throw at Mitchell. Although they're going to have to, if he's going to follow wide receiver 1 across the field, he'll get tested for sure. But of course, they're going to go pick on whoever he is not covering, and DeJean is not covering. So we'll learn very quickly whether we got a problem or not there. Yeah. Let's go to safeties. No surprises here. Listen, I think this Makuba kid, we've talked about it all preseason. We talked about it on draft night. If he can get and stay healthy, it could be a great pick, but that's a big if. Obviously, Blankenship, you regularly see making big hits. We're going to have to see how that all plays out if Sidney Brown is really learning how to play the position. McCollum always seems to come in and do a good job. So I like the safeties. I wouldn't mind going and seeing us go pick up another safety because I don't trust Brown and I don't trust that Blankenship and Makuba could play the whole season out there. They're both apt to get hurt.
Yeah, I think that Sidney Brown is that's a worrisome point for me. I believe that Sidney Brown is going to get the start because Makuba got nicked up at the end of training camp. But Brown, like the bottom line is like he plays so fast and he plays with his hair on fire. He kind of plays like Troy Polamalu played. He's just not nearly as good as Polamalu. That's the problem. That's the problem. You know what I mean?
Our
think
first
about Pittsburgh.
Our first Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah. But he does. He overruns. He overshoots and misses tackles.
Yeah, he's got to slow. He's got to slow his heart rate down a little bit.
Yeah, but then at the same time, I remember, before he got hurt, he had like a 99-yard touchdown return against the Giants, so he can make some splash plays and he can make some big hits, but he also misses a lot of tackles. So I don't know. We'll see there. And
I hate that we gave up CJGJ and that we cut the guy that we traded for him. It's just
although I will say this, this is something that Steve often remarks when he's talking about the Steelers, which is kind of a good thing, which is how he will at least admit his mistakes and move on from it.
Right.
So look, the bottom line is, they didn't want CJGJ here because he obviously drove everybody crazy, right? It's his fourth team in 4 years, including twice with the Eagles, right?
But they won to the Super Bowl both times.
Right. But the reality is that they didn't want him, and they had to take something back. And they took him back, and they said, "Look, he's a first round talent who hasn't played well. We'll put him with Stoutland, and we'll see if we can turn him into something." Well, they decided pretty quickly he doesn't have it, and so he's gone. And that's it. So, it's like Howie's not keeping him on the roster so that he can prove to everybody that he was right about that trade.
Of course, yeah.
So,
and it was pretty public that all through camp that he wasn't gonna cut it.
Right.
Yeah. So that would have been a mistake.
Hey guys, let me tell you something. I'm looking at this from just a football player standpoint, from a fan standpoint. I have to tell you that offense is unfriggin' believable. I mean, that offense has got to be number one in the NFL. The whole offensive line, the wide receivers, the running back, clearly the quarterback position. But I think the only weakness I can see on the defense is I think as a whole it's solid, but I think if teams can find a way to keep the defensive line from getting to the quarterback quickly and against good quarterbacks, I don't think you're going to have a problem against the New York Giants of the world. But against better quarterbacks, if you're not able to get to the quarterback quickly, the cornerback positions, not Quinion Mitchell clearly, but the other guys, I think they're going to find holes there. So I think the defense is going to have some work to do throughout the season. And if I'm watching this team, that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'd be looking at when I'd be looking at watching a game on Sunday afternoon.
I'm worried about the edge. I'm worried about the edge and getting to the quarterback because you're exactly right. I don't care how good a cornerback you are. You can't cover for 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. So we put pressure on the quarterback. We'll be fine. We stay healthy on the offense. We'll be fine. But you know what, guys? You know what we haven't talked about yet?
What?
The most critical position
on the
player
football field.
On the football field.
Of which the Philadelphia Eagles currently don't have one.
Well, no. Forget the long snapper. As long as you have Jake the Snake, everything is fine.
That is
Hey, are we
right.
going to do that again? Are we going to do our 10 most critical
We will.
players?
We
All right,
will.
we're
We'll
going to
do
do
it
that.
maybe next week.
Okay.
Although I have to tell you, I mean, yeah, the Elliott man combo is good, but we do need someone to snap it to them.
Bah!
No, so apparently, I believe what has been said is that Charlie Hewlett, who they signed, he used to be with the Browns, and he was one-time a Pro Bowl long snapper. He got a little injured during training camp, and I think that he's not actually like cut. He's actually like on some sort of veteran IR thing or something like that. And then they're just going to basically put him on the practice squad, and then they'll bring him up for game day, something like that. But I think it's something like where he can't be picked up on waivers. So
weird.
So yeah. So who knows?
I never understood that move to start with. You know, I know Lovato, he didn't have his best year last year, but if it ain't broke, why fix it? Unless they're blaming all of Jake Elliott's early problems on him. I don't
They
know.
probably were. I'm telling you, they probably were. So any of these guys here surprise you as a cut? Eli Ricks, the corner, Aeneas Smith, the wide receiver.
No,
McClure.
I don't.
No?
I think to your point earlier, I think the EJ Jenkins thing was interesting, but there's no one else I see on the list that necessarily surprises me. I didn't. I don't know what Ricks did last year. I don't ever remember him being a reason we lost the game, but I don't ever remember a reason for us winning either. He was just kind of another guy out there.
I'll tell you what. I think Eli Ricks has some pretty good game. It wouldn't shock me at all that somebody claims Eli Ricks and he becomes a starter and becomes like an above average starter in this league. Seriously, like I think that would be a really good pickup for somebody. I mean, he's got the Alabama pedigree.
He's LSU, isn't he an LSU guy?
No, I'm pretty sure he's Alabama.
All right, I'm gonna check it out. Eli Ricks.
Check it out. But I think his situation was, got into some sort of trouble, not bad trouble, not like, beating somebody or something like that.
We're both right. He started at LSU and he transferred to Alabama.
Oh, okay.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, I remember we picked him up as an undrafted free agent. And I think he's got some game. I think he just really needs the opportunity. All right. So
how do you feel? How do you feel, Schwalbe? I mean, and HJ, what do you think? How do you feel kind of after cut day, knowing what the squad looks like? Do you feel as confident as last year? Do you feel less confident, more confident? Kind of what are your thoughts going into the season?
Well, I mean, for me, look, it's really hard to repeat. It's extremely, extremely hard to repeat. And I mean, I can tell you this for sure: the Eagles have never repeated. Well, they did in 59 and 60, I think.
Come on, Schwab.
But I mean, look, I mean, it's really, really hard. I mean, basically, they've of course they've got the hardest schedule because they got to play all the first place teams, right? Everybody is gunning for them because they want to say they beat last year's Super Bowl champ.
Yep.
And, obviously in football, you've got the luck element, which I equate to being healthy, right? So, people start dropping like flies. It becomes difficult. So I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I mean, look, I like Sirianni. He's obviously a good coach. I mean, they won the Super Bowl with him. But, is he a level of like an Andy Reid where he's able to like have this even keel and get his team back year after year after year? I mean, I guess that remains to be seen. So, and look, we also have to deal with another offensive coordinator change this year.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, I think the best thing that we got going for us is Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and AJ Brown and Devontae Smith.
Jalen Carter. I mean, you can go down the line. Our top end talent.
I mean, they got a ton of top end talent. So they should win a good amount of games, but you just never know. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to call it.
So you feel less confident going into this year than you did last year?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I wasn't really that confident last year.
Right.
They just sort of they took off like after week 5.
Right.
I mean,
but if you look at the talent on the team, top to bottom, there weren't many players who you're like, who's this or who's this rookie or whatever. We had a bunch of veterans. We lost a good part of our defense. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, look, last year, everything that had to go perfectly actually did, right? We drafted a first round and a second round corner, and they pretty much played like all pros the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't know. We were sitting there saying, like, who is Zach Bond? Why is he playing linebacker? He's been a special teamer for 2 years.
Dean will definitely get hurt at some point. Yeah.
Right. And then he became like one of the best linebackers in the league. You know what I mean? Like, so the problems like this year, I don't feel nearly as confident that they're going to be solved. I mean, it's cornerback 2, which, at least to me, the answer for that is not on the roster right now. I don't think. And also safety 2. I think that guy is on the roster, and that's Andrew Makuba. But again, the health issue. So, I mean, I definitely don't think it's Sidney Brown is what I'm saying, and he's the starter. So there's guys that it's harder for me to see us having the right answers to really have that complete team.
Okay. What do you say as a outsider looking in, HJ? What do you think? You think the Eagles are in the same position as last year, or obviously the same is the best, or are you feeling maybe perhaps not so confident?
Well, let's just say I know of a team who has done this twice, one back-to-back. Way too young to witness it the first time. The second time, I was just a wee pup. But the thing that I think that I see in teams that repeat is that they're still hungry for it. And you can't put that on a chart somewhere. You can't say, this group of guys want to do it again until they start going through the season and, the injuries start to ramp up and guys are fighting through injuries or they're not. Those are the teams. All those teams have great talent. I think this team has enough talent to repeat. Absolutely. 100% sure of that. But do they have the drive? Do they have the coach that's going to give them the drive? Do they have a new offensive coordinator that's going to make things more interesting for them? Or do they have an offensive coordinator who's making things more complicated for them? Do they have the defense that have the guys who can step up that can get to the quarterback? Or do they have problems getting to the quarterback on defense? And honestly, none of us, not even the experts, will know that. But you'll have a good feel for it after definitely by the first half of the season, usually by the first 3 or 4 games of the season. You'll see if they still got that fire. You'll see if the
what
offense
happened last year after we were ready to give up on the team after 4 weeks last year.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's testimony to Sirianni. I think he's an excellent coach. I think he knows how to motivate his players. So I would say there's a better than 50% chance that you already have it there and it's gonna manifest itself. And then from there, all you got to do is dodge the injury bug. So if you do those two things, I don't see any reason why the Eagles can't make it back. Then, I'm not going to say make it back to the Super Bowl because that's really difficult. But I think they definitely should be favorites to make it back to the NFC Championship game, hands down.
The big difference between those teams you were talking about from the 70s was it just didn't seem like anyone left the team in free agency. Could you imagine running it back with the same defensive ends and defensive line? And what's
you're right, you can't do that now.
Yeah,
that's true.
And that makes it tough. The last time we won the Super Bowl, it's the same thing. We lost half our defense. this time around, we lost some key players, so it's really going to we're going to have to trust in Howie and Nick to make sure that we've got the right guys that are going to step up, and we drafted well. So we'll talk
But
more about our predictions next week.
But it obviously is doable, because you got the New England Patriots won like 6. With
They were always changing things up.
Always changing things. You had, the Chiefs won without Tyreek Hill.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it can be done. It's just not easy.
Yep. Yeah. No one said that. Certainly not. All right. Are we doing picks? Is next week for our audience? Is next week pick week?
I think next week is pick week. What else did I have on my Eagles agenda?
You wanted to talk about Howie and doing some dealing, or do you want to move on?
Well, we kind of pretty much covered that. You gotta love Howie dealing, though. Would you agree, Rube?
Yeah, it every day is an interesting day when Howie's the GM. And listen, we've learned to trust. He's finally passed the Justin Jefferson debacle. And since then he's had a pretty darn good track record. So we gotta trust.
The funny thing is, though, is that if he would have drafted Justin Jefferson,
there's
no
AJ Brown.
Had AJ Brown and Devontae Smith.
Things happen for a reason, I suppose.
Schwalby, I think you wanted to talk about this too.
Oh yeah. So Jalen Hurts coming in on the top 100 ESPN list of best players at number 19. Now, just for reference, Rube, the first year in 2023 when they lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs, but everybody was like, he outplayed Patrick Mahomes. That year he came up number 3.
Interesting.
Now, last year when we started out 10-1, even though the big slide to 11-6, he dropped all the way to 15. So it's interesting how you finally win the Super Bowl and you get the Super Bowl MVP and you just continue to slide. You're down to number 19. And here's the thing. Look, I don't know if he's top 10, but he certainly should be around that, at least in my opinion. Like, let me just for the sake of it, they've only gone so high as number 17 at this point. So, look, there's going to be Pat Mahomes is going to be in there. Lamar Jackson's going to be in there. All those guys are going to be in
Burrow, Allen. Yeah.
Right.
Saquon will be up there.
Right. Saquon will be up there. And many of them are legitimate. Like, is Saquon Barkley a better running back than Jalen Hurts as a quarterback? Yes, he is. But you look at this list. Who's number 18? Derek Stingley, cornerback, Houston. What has he done for Houston?
Well, how much can a cornerback really impact? We've seen it. But listen, here's what I would tell you.
Can I just tell you number 17?
No.
Dexter Lawrence of the Giants. Boy, he made a huge impact last year, didn't he? You know what I mean? It's like some of these things just kind of blow my mind. But go ahead.
Listen, I'd rather him be ranked exactly where he is than number 3, because he seems to play much better when he's got a chip on his shoulder and people disrespect him. So you know what? Make him number 30 for all I care. What do all these lists mean? 0.
You are correct.
That's a very good point.
You are correct, sir.
I think it's time to move on to the Phils.
All right. So Phillies have a 6-game lead over the New York Mets. They lost to the New York Mets yesterday 13-3 after having a 3-0 lead nonetheless. And they had their best pitcher, now that Wheeler is out for the year. They had their best pitcher, Christopher Sanchez, starting yesterday, and he had his worst game of the season, giving up 5 runs. It seems like for some reason the Phillies can't win in New York. I think they've lost 8 straight games in New York City. Now, the first question is, Do we still have this division on lock, or are you concerned?
It's hard to. It is.
That is not a ringing endorsement.
It is. It's been hard for me, and I've said it repeatedly on this show and to anyone who would listen. They're just too inconsistent week to week for me to say anything is a lock with this team. And now that our ace is done for the season, and we see performances like last night that bring us all back to last year's postseason and the year before that's postseason, where you can't drive, where you're leaving runners in scoring position all night long. I don't blame that loss on Christopher Sanchez. I blame the loss on not being able to hit the damn ball and drive runs in and give your pitcher confidence to go on the mound to pitch his game. So I think it's a precarious first place at best based on what I've seen. But let's also remember, if you look at the National League, and again, all these teams are flawed. The Mets just went on a monster losing streak. They're bound to start playing some better ball. They're too good to just give up on, and or they're on the rise where we may be a little bit on the drop with Wheeler going down. And we're going to have to see. So I call it a precarious first place for now. We'll see how tonight goes and the next week goes and go from there.
Now, I guess one of the questions is do you think the Phillies can still win a World Series without Wheeler? Which basically means you probably start game 1, Christopher Sanchez, game 2, Ranger Suarez, game 3, probably Aaron Nola, game 4, Jesus Luzardo.
Well, what was once a towering strength being our pitching staff to overcome some inconsistent hitting just took a major blow. No, our number 1 and our 2 starting out the season are no longer. And so thankfully, Sanchez has stepped up. Ranger, we just always keep our fingers crossed that he doesn't lose the velocity and that he doesn't get tired.
Although he has come back and was named NL Player of the Week last week.
Yeah, which is terrific.
Big week. He's like, what is that? I can't really see the numbers there, Steve. Are you able to see it?
Yeah, I got it. It's 13.2 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts, it looks like 1 walk, 1.32 ERA, and a .51 whip.
So
Yeah.
Rangers been dealing again.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Rangers dealing. But if I would have told you going into the season that we were without Wheeler and Nola, Wheeler the rest of the season, and Nola certainly hasn't done much the entire season, although got a nice win the other night after giving up a couple homers, I would say that's going to be problematic. But I believe in the legend of Nick Foles, and we thought it was all over when Carson Wentz went down, and funnier things have happened. So we'll have to see. But we got to hit.
Yeah, we do. Now, I also brought up something to our stand-in far superior technical director that Christopher Sanchez, it really is for NL Cy Young, it really is Christopher Sanchez versus Paul Skeens. And what I kind of attested to was with the loss yesterday and him giving up the most runs he's given up in a while at 5, or all year, actually. To me, I feel like he also last night lost the Cy Young.
I think that's overreaction. I don't know. I do. How do you give the Cy Young to someone who's got a under 500 record?
Well, but here's the big difference. The big difference is the ERA. The ERA is 2.07 for Skeens. And keep in mind, what that also means is there's potential that ERA is going to be in the high 1s. potential. What I thought Sanchez had to do to get the Cy Young was, first of all, like, look, I mean, he's 11-5. It's a much better record than 8-9. But look, in all seriousness, he's only won 3 more games. Okay, so I felt like he's got to at least stretch it up to like 16-5, and hopefully get that ERA down to like 2.3, 2.2. And then I think he does that. I think he wins the Cy Young. But it doesn't seem like it's going in that direction. It's more going in the direction that Paul Skeens is going to finish 12-11 with like a 1.98 ERA, and Christopher Sanchez is going to finish like 12-10 with like a 2.54 ERA.
You think he's going to lose as many games in the next 3 weeks as he has all year long?
Well, there's not many games left, right?
Well, how do you think he's going to?
30. There are about 35 games left.
So, and
So
he's going to. He's not going to lose 5 games.
So he's got 6 games left.
Yeah, 6 starts probably. That's
and
yeah.
Sanchez, and for a play for so no, I'm not buying. I'm not buying it. Listen, Skeens is a terrific talent. But I don't see Sanchez losing 5 more games, as many games in the next 3 weeks as he did the whole entire year. He may get a couple more wins. Who else is out there? Is there any besides Wheeler? Was there anybody else in the hunt for Cy Young?
No, there really isn't. And Rube, I think you're right about the win-loss. You know, I think if Skeens does, let's say he ends up just, you know, going to let's say he gets to 10-10. I think that's probably enough. But if he gets to 10-11, or let's say he's 9-9 or 9-10 or 9-11, I don't think they're going to give it to him. I just don't think they will. And the thing too is, you know, you talk about Christopher Sanchez blowing up. Skeens just blew up too. He had a horrible outing a couple weeks ago where his ERA ballooned. It was below. It was like 1.9, and then it ballooned up to 2.15 or something like that. And now it's back down to 2.07. So it's possible Skeens has another blow up game in one of his losses. I don't think so, just because the guy is just so consistent. But I think Sanchez can still win this, but not if he loses five games, 5 of his last 6 starts. He'll be out of it.
Then it's a no discussion.
But let's say if he gets to 15, let's say even 15-6, his ERA is around 2.3, and Skeens, you know, let's say he does okay, but his ERA jumps up to say 2.15, maybe even close to 2.2. I think that's how Sanchez can win it. The problem is the Major League Baseball, they're not always like this, but they like to knight somebody as the next pitcher, right? So, and Skeens is definitely that guy. I mean, he shouldn't have won it last year, but his stats were good enough to win it last year also. So they tend to say, okay, 2 good years in a row, even if, you know, you've got a 500 record, but you do play on the Pirates. The only team it would be harder to do that for would be the Rockies. So, yeah, I mean, I still think it's anybody's race, though. You know, 5-6 games to pitch. Let's see how these guys duel it out. I think it'll be fun to watch that happen. And let's face it, it sounds like Sanchez has to win some of these games anyways to give the Phillies fans some confidence going into the playoffs. And they're a lock for the playoffs, by the way. They're definitely a lock for the playoffs. Whether they're, you know, limping in or, you know, flying in has yet to be seen, though.
Hey, HJ, I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Where can people get the Sports Porch?
Right here.
On X. On X at Philly Porch.
You know what, Rube? I'll be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the moniker for the Philly Porch, or if it's whatever it's called. So I didn't create a ticker for it down at the bottom, because our lovely technical director decided to change things up with the software. So now when we log in as ourselves. So for example, all the things that the technical director,
we're blaming our esteemed
all the things that the technical director created. Normally I could just click on them and be like, well, here it is right here. It's the Philly Porch on at YouTube, find us at thephillyporch.com and all that stuff. None of that I have now. So I that's why I'm not like jumping in and saying, hey, thanks for watching YouTube. And here's our moniker.
Oh man, I thought I was setting you up.
Honestly, I don't know it.
The bottom line is it's just another failure from our, let's say, infamous technical director. He's always just, a little bit ahead of his skis, shall we say.
All right. So what do we else we got tonight for our fans, folks?
Let's see. We got anything else for the Phillies?
No.
I think you covered everything there, Schwaber. Which means it's time to talk about what we're watching.
Now, Rube, would you like to give this a go, or would you like me to do it?
I'm going to defer to you this week, Schwalbini. I'm not feeling it tonight, and you're just exceptional at it. So hit it.
All right. Well, Sports Porch family, I speak to you coming directly from the heart. We realize that you need a little bit more than just a sports talk radio show. You need some love, and you need some help and guidance. And one of the things that really can throw a good day sort of down the spiral is when you turn on to watch a program and you're like, why did I choose this program? This stinks, man. This is horrible.
This is garbage.
And so what we do here is we watch shows in their entirety or movies, and we give you our feelings about them. We tell you whether they're good or whether you should skip it. And that allows you to become the champion of your household.
The hero, almost.
Yes. All you have to do is say, hey, guys from Sports Porch said, check this one out. And you're gold. You're gold. No more looking around through 500 different streaming services.
That's right.
No more watching trailer after trailer and saying, no. We are coming right to you to make it simple.
And the greatest thing is you never know what it's going to be. It might be a show. It might be a movie at the movie theater. It might be something that is, just came out and you're really excited to hear about it. Or it might be something from like 10, 20 years ago. You just never know what we're going to review here on the porch. And tonight, guess what? We're going to start with Rube, because when he told me what this was, I was very excited to let Rube explain why he watches this and how excited he is about the show that we're about to talk about. And what is that show, Mr. Rube?
Pitch Perfect 2. I've said it once, I'll say it a million times more. It is my guilty pleasure. Every time it's on TV, even with 50,000 minutes of commercials, even like on USA on like a Thursday night, I watch the Pitch Perfect trilogy every time. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Pitch Perfect 2, because I think I once reviewed Pitch Perfect 1, but the Bellas are back.
Bellas.
The Bellas are back.
The Barden Bellas are back after winning the national championship and shocking the world, the a cappella world. Mm-hmm. For those of you who haven't seen Pitch Perfect, it's about a cappella singing. And let me tell you something. There's everything. It's just good, wholesome fun. You have great singing, fun songs, pretty girls. If you're, there's also groups of guys. What's the name of the guys group in Pitch Perfect, guys? God, I forgot it. The troublemakers. So let me tell you something. In all seriousness, good, wholesome family fun. Go watch the Pitch Perfect, the whole trilogy. But Pitch Perfect 2 is a lot of fun. It's got an international aspect to it. It's not just competing for a college championship. It's competing for for the world championship.
You know, I don't think you're giving anything away because probably many people have already seen this. Do they actually go back to back?
I don't want to give it away.
You're not going to give it away.
I'm not going to give it away.
Man.
And let me tell you something. Yeah, it's just it's great.
I thought maybe we do a segue like they went back to back, just like the Eagles will go back to back.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't pick up what you were putting down.
Do it. Not going to do it. Okay,
I'm so used of the ineptitude of the other technical director that I wasn't ready to pick up.
Just tossing a softball up there for you, Rube. You know?
We love you, TD. We know you're out there. We're just kidding. So go check it out. Pitch Perfect 2, good wholesome fun. Enjoy the funny. Enjoy the music. Enjoy. Just good wholesome fun.
Where can you watch Pitch Perfect?
Pitch Perfect 2 you can pretty much see anytime, anywhere on any channel. I think the last I saw it was actually on linear TV on one of the cable channels, but you can always find it on one of the pay channels. So check it out.
So 2 thumbs up for Pitch Perfect 2 from Rube. I can honestly say I've never watched them, but I have watched Pitch Perfect 1, so maybe I'll give this a try this week. Do a little unselfish watching.
I did see it. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Well,
there you go. You got the Grand Schwalbini's seal of approval. What else do you need?
Yeah.
All right, that leaves Mr. Schwalbini, and Mark is watching. Oh man, wait, I messed it up. There it is.
The Veil.
Anybody
ever hear of The Veil?
I have not.
No, but I tell you what, it looks like it takes place in Paris.
Parts of it.
Oh.
So it is a spy kind of thriller show.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Hulu and FX, and it's one of those things where believe it or not, I was doing the exact job that we say we do for you. I'm looking for something. I couldn't find it. I watched some trailers and I was like, this trailer's pretty good. And I decided I put it in my list. And one day when I was bored, I'm like, let's give this one a shot. And I think it was a pretty short, limited series. I think it might have only been 6 episodes. It was either 6 or 8. There is a season 2 coming out. I just saw a teaser for that. And I thought it was pretty good. Basically, that lady there, that Elizabeth Moss, she's the star of it, and she is, I believe, she's British in this, and she is a member of whatever Britain's CIA is.
MI6.
Yeah, member of like MI6, and she's somebody who's like specially trained in like counterterrorism. And so there's an interesting situation where one of the like either wives or girlfriends of one of the biggest terrorists out there is trying to escape with some important information, and she's posing as like a refugee in a refugee camp so that she's trying to go under the radar. And essentially what she does is she picks her up, and she's got to sort of get her to the finish line by, number one, she like forms a relationship with her, and she, this terrorist woman has a daughter, and she feels for them. Like she feels like they didn't grow up in a normal happenstance. And so I kind of want this girl to kind of like get away from the people in her terrorist background and maybe have a life with this little girl. But then at the same time, she's got to build up enough trust in her for her to tell her when the next big terrorist attack is happening. So it's, and it's a lot of like, does she trust her? Doesn't she trust her? Would she tell her? Won't she tell her? That kind of stuff. And it's all kind of interesting. There's a big story about it. Like the other part of it is her father was also like a member of MI6, and he was considered a traitor. And so then that's always coming back on her, like, are you going to be a traitor like your dad was, that kind of a thing.
Right.
And so there was a really interesting wrinkle with that part of the story. So overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a little different and pretty good, entertaining.
All right.
2 thumbs up from Schwalbe on that one then?
I give it a 2 thumbs up.
And The Veil, and where can you watch it?
FX and Hulu.
FX and Hulu.
Right on.
Well, boys, I think we actually did it to this week.
We did it.
We did it.
Back next week with the Grand Schwalbini, and I think TD will be back on. What do you think? I think he'll be back.
You never know.
If he isn't, you guys got to figure it out on your own. So,
yep, he's not exactly Mr. Reliable.
Ooh, I don't know. Hey, guys, thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you all on the next one. Later.
All righty.